मैनर। मतलब बात यह है कि भैया आपके यहाँ किसी इंटरनल ने मारा, बाहर से तो कोई आया नहीं है। It's impossible what you say, really, absolutely impossible. One of us, why every single member of the expedition was devoted to Louis. अरे हर आदमी लुई के पीछे मिस्टर लिडनर ने कहा. A coy little expression pulled down the corners of Dr. Relly's mouth. Under the circumstances, it was difficult for him to say anything, but if ever a man's silence was eloquent, it was at that minute. Quite impossible, reiterated Dr. Ledna. They were all devoted to her. Louis had such wonderful charm, everyone felt it. अब वो अपनी बीवी पे लट्टू थे मिस्टर लेडनर, तो बोली कोई भी ऐसा कर ही नहीं सकता. लुई को तो सब पसंद करते थे. डॉक्टर रियली काफ्ड. Excuse me, Ledner, but after all, that's only your opinion. If any member of the expedition had disliked your wife, they would naturally not advertise the fact to you. ये तो भाई आपका ओपिनियन है कि हर आदमी डिवोटेड था. अगर कोई भी आदमी डिसलाइक करता था तो वो आपको क्यों बताएगा? Dr. Lidner looked distressed. Quite true, but all the same, really, I think you're wrong. I'm sure everyone was fond of Louis. जिनकी बीवी मरी है ना अभी, जो छत से नीचे आ जाए. He was silent for a moment or two and then burst out. This idea of yours is infamous. It's frankly incredible. You can't get away from the facts, said the Captain Maitland. भाई आप तथ्यों से तो बाहर नहीं निकल सकते. तथ्यों से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते. Facts. Lies told by an Indian cook and a couple of Arab houseboys. अरे तुम्हें ये कैसे पता कि इंडियन कुक और अरब हाउस बॉय जो है सही चीज बता रहे हैं? You know these fellows as well as I do. Really, so you do, Mr. Maitland. तो पता ही अरब और हिंदुस्तानी कैसे होते हैं? ये गोरा कह रहा. Truth means nothing to them. They say what you want them to say as a mere matter of politeness. तुम उनसे जो कहना चलवाओगे कहलाओगे as a matter of politeness, वो कह देंगे. अब अंग्रेज आया. In this case, said Dr. Really dryly, they are saying what we don't want them to say. इस केस में वो कह रहे हैं जो हम उनसे नहीं कहलवाना चाहते. Besides, I know the habit of your household fairly well. Just outside the gate is a kind of social club. भाई आपके गेट के बाहर एक सोशल क्लब है. Whenever I've been over here in the afternoon, I've always found most of your staff there. It's the natural place for them to be. आपके घर के बाहर एक वो लगता है, जमावड़ा लगता है. वो आफ्टरनून में हमेशा वहीं रहते हैं. जब भी मैं आया मैंने वहाँ पे उनको देखा. All the same, I think you're assuming too much. Why shouldn't this devil, have gotten earlier and concealed himself somewhere? अरे ये जो है वो पहले छुप गया होगा आके. I agree that is not actually impossible, said Dr. O'Reilly coolly. Let us assume that a stranger did somehow gain admission unseen. चलो let's मान लेते हैं कि कोई अंदर आया. He would have to remain concealed until the right moment. अच्छा, उसको सही मोमेंट तक तो छुपना होगा. And he certainly couldn't have done so in Mrs. Lidner's room. वो मिसेस लिडनर के रूम में तो नहीं छुपा हो सकता. There is no cover there. कहाँ छुपेगा? And take the risk of being seen entering the room and leaving it. और फिर उस रूम में एंटर किया और बाहर आया, उसका रिस्क. With Emmett and the boy in the courtyard most of the time. भाई Emmett और the boy जो थे courtyard में थे, पकड़ा जाएगा. The boy had forgotten the boy, said Dr. Ledner. A sharp little chap, but surely Maitland, the boy must have seen the murderer go into my wife's room. अरे उस लड़के ने देखा होगा कि मेरी बीवी के रूम में कौन कौन गया. We have elucidated that. The boy was washing the pots the whole afternoon with one exception. Somewhere around 1:30, Emmett can't put it closer than that, he went up to the roof and was with you for 10 minutes. That's right, isn't it? Emmett आपके पास करीब 1:30 के पास पहुंचा. वो 10 मिनट तक आपके पास था. Yes, I couldn't have told you the exact time, but it must have been about that. Very good. Well, during that 10 minutes, the boy, seizing his chance to be idle, strolled out and joined the others at the gate for a chat. उस 10 मिनट में वो लड़का बाहर गया और जो बाहर लोग बातें कर रहे थे उनसे बातें की. When Emmett came down, he found the boy absent and called him angrily. Emmett वापस आया और उसने इस लड़के को जोर से वापस बुलाया, asking him what he meant by leaving the work. As far as I can see, your wife must have been murdered during that 10 minutes. वो 10 मिनट में जब वो लड़का बाहर गया था और एमट आपके पास था, तो उस 10 मिनट में आपकी वाइफ का मर्डर हुआ. With a groan, Dr. Ledner sat down and hid his face in his hands. तुम्हें क्या लग रहा है? चलो देखते हैं. देखते हैं. Dr. Rayleigh took up the tale, his voice quiet and matter of fact. The time fits in with my evidence, he said. She'd been dead about 3 years when I examined her. The only question is, who did it? Mara kisne? There was a silence. Dr. Ledner sat up in his chair and passed a hand over his forehead. डॉक्टर लेडनर जो थे अपने चेयर पे उठे और अपने हैंड ओवर हिज फोरहेड किया. I admit the force of your reasoning, Rayleigh, he said quietly. It certainly seems as though it were what people call an inside job. But I feel convinced that somewhere or the other there is a mistake. कुछ गड़बड़ है. It's plausible, but there must be a flaw in it. To begin with, you're assuming that an amazing coincidence has occurred. Odd you should use that word, said Dr. Rayleigh. Without paying any attention, Dr. Ledner went on. My wife receives threatening letters. She has reason to fear a certain person. Then she is killed. मेरी वाइफ को लेटर्स आते हैं, वो किसी बंदे से डरती है, फिर उसको मार देती है. And you ask me to believe that she is killed not by that person, but by someone entirely different. पर उस आदमी के साथ नहीं मारती है जिससे लेटर आता था. कोई और आया और उसने उसको मार दिया. I say that is ridiculous. It seems so, yes, said Doctor meditatively. He looked at Captain Maitland. Coincidence, eh? What do you say, Maitland? Are you in favor of the idea? Shall we put it up to Leidner? Captain Maitland gave a nod. Go ahead, he said shortly. Have you ever heard of a man called Hercule Poirot, Leidner? तुमने कभी हरक्यूल पायरो का नाम सुना है? Dr. Ledner stared at him puzzled. I think I've heard the name, yes, he said vaguely. I once heard Mr. Van Adley speak of him in a very high terms. He's a private detective, is he not? A private detective. That's the man. But surely he lives in London. How will he help us? वो तो लंदन में रहता है. How will he help us? He lives in London, true, said Dr. Rayleigh. But this is where coincidence comes in. He is now not in London but in Syria, and he will actually pass through Hassania on his way to Baghdad tomorrow. हरक्यूल पायरो बगदाद जा रहे हैं और वो हसीनिया के थ्रू जाएंगे. Who told you this? John Barat, the French consul. He dined with us last night and was talking about him. It seems he has been disentangling some military scandal in Syria. He is coming through here to visit Baghdad and afterwards returning through Syria to London. How is that for a coincidence? Dr. Ledner hesitated a moment and looked apologetically at Captain Maitland. What do you think, Captain Maitland? Should welcome cooperation, said Captain Maitland promptly. My fellows are good scouts at scouting the countryside and investigating Arab blood feuds. But frankly, Ledner, this business of your wife seems to be rather out of my class. Maitland ने कहा, भैया ये तो तुम्हारी वाइफ वाला जो थोड़ा सा हाई फाई लग रहा है. The whole thing looks comfortably fishy, confoundingly fishy. I'm more than willing to have a fellow take a look at the case. You suggest that I should appeal to this Pyro to help us, said Dr. Ledna. And suppose he refuses? He won't refuse, said Dr. Rayleigh. How do you know? Because I'm a professional man myself. If a really intricate case of, say, cerebrospinal meningitis came in my way, I'm invited to take a hand, I shouldn't be able to refuse. देखो भैया ऐसा है मैं मना नहीं करेगा. This isn't an ordinary crime, Lydna. No, said Mr. Dr. Lydna, his lips twitched with sudden pain. Will you then really approach this Hercule Poirot on my behalf? I will. Dr. Ledna made a gesture of thanks. Even now, he said slowly, I can't realize it that Louis is really dead. I could be alone. Oh, Dr. Ledner, I burst out. I can't tell you how badly I feel about this. I felt so badly in my duty. It was my job to watch over Mrs. Lydna, to keep her from harm. Dr. Lydna shook his head gravely. No, no, nurse, you have nothing to reproach yourself with, he said slowly. It's I, God forgive me, who am to blame. I didn't believe, all along I didn't believe, I didn't dream for one moment that there was any real danger. He got up and his face twitched. I let her go to her death. And yes, I let her go to her death not believing. He staggered out of the room. Dr. Rayleigh looked at me. I feel pretty culpable too, he said. I thought the good lady was playing on his nerves. I didn't take it really seriously either, I confessed. We were all three wrong, said Dr. Rayleigh gravely. So it seems, said Captain Maitland. चलो कल पढ़ेंगे. Okay, हम सोनी गए.